Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita. We are reading from Adi-Lila, chapter 5. We have been reading the purport of text 41 by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. I'll just read the translation quickly. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Anirudh constitute the second quadruple. They are purely transcendental. So Prabhupada is giving us so much evidence that how the Chaturvyuha is transcendent. They are transcendental. So, oh my Lord, your transcendental pastimes and enjoyments. Let me see, did we finish this? Physical world, different. Yeah, I think we did that. Mundane qualities, yeah. Personal and personal, we did that. Earthen pot, we read that yesterday. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord, being equally disposed toward every living being, has no enemies and no friends, but that he has a special affection for a devotee who always thinks of him in love. Therefore, neutrality and partiality are both among the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and they are properly adjusted by his inconceivable energy. So Krishna says that I am not partial to anyone. He says, I'm equally disposed to every living being. But also he has a special affection for the devotee. He says, where is my heart? My heart is with the devotee. It's not with me. Yeah. So how do we understand this? We can see a father loves all his children, all the children equally. Now there is one child who is always fighting with the father and says, I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. I just need your money and that's it. And so the father will give him the money. That's all right. And there's another child who says, my dear father, I want to be with you. He keeps coming to him, wants to talk to him, spend time with him. Automatically, the father is spending time with that child. Automatically, the other child who does not want to spend time with the father is not spending time with him. It works both ways. So similarly, Krishna, he's equally disposed toward every living entity, whether we want him, we don't want him. He provides and maintains for all of us. But the devotees who want to be with him, Krishna gives them special care and attention. So the Lord is Parabrahman, or the source of the impersonal Brahma, which is his all-pervading feature of neutrality. Now the Brahma Jyoti that we see, the light which is there, the divine light, where is that coming from? It's coming from the body of the Lord. It's his personal effulgence. The light is coming from his body. In his personal feature, however, as the owner of all transcendental opulences, the Lord displays his partiality by taking the side of his devotees. So similarly, there is someone who is saying that God is light, so God associates with him in his impersonal feature as the light. And someone says God is a person, and so that person has a loving relationship with Krishna. We have been reading how Krishna has these leelas and pastimes. So it depends, what do we want? That's how Krishna reciprocates to us. You want to reciprocate with the God as light? Sure, then I will show you that I'm the light. You want to reciprocate with me as a person? Sure, then we will have loving pastimes. And then whenever there's a relationship, you know how a mother and child relationship, or father and child. So there is love, there's protection, there is enjoyment, all that is there. So similarly, the devotee, because he's having this relationship with the Lord. So the Lord protects the devotee. Then there is a loving relationship with them. There is happiness, there is joy. So partiality and neutrality and all such qualities are present in God. Otherwise, they could not be experienced in the creation. Since he is the total existence, all things are properly adjusted in the absolute. Everything exists in God. There is nothing that we see or we experience, or that we don't see and we don't experience, that does not belong to God. There's nothing like that. Nothing. In the relative world, such qualities are displayed in a perverted manner, and therefore we experience non-duality as a perverted reflection. Because there is no logic to explain how things happen in the realm of spirit, the Lord is sometimes described as being beyond the range of experience. But if we simply accept the Lord's inconceivability, we can then adjust all things in him. So we are material inside, we are right now inside this material body. We are spirit soul, yes, but right now we are in the material body. So all our resources are material. The mind is material, our senses are material. And so that's the reason they are limited and they are defective. Now, with this defective mind, defective logic, we are unable to approach the spiritual. We can't understand it. But if we understand that the Lord has inconceivable energy, he is inconceivable, then everything makes sense. Everything becomes clear. Everything becomes logical then. Oh, how can he have a form and no form? Yeah, why not? Sure. He has a form, he has a transcendental Satchidananda form. And no form, that's the light coming from his body. So he has both. And why not? He's the Supreme Lord. Everything exists in him. Nothing can exist without existing in him. So non-devotees cannot understand the Lord's inconceivable energy. And consequently for them, it is said that he is beyond the range of conceivable expression. Now, of course, if you think that the Supreme Lord has this inconceivable energy, if we think he's like me, I don't have inconceivable energy, so how can he have it? Then we won't be able to understand it. We won't be able to understand the truth about the Lord because we are thinking he's like me. Then what's the difference between God and me? Then why do I even call him God, right? Then is it that I'm God then? So all these confusions come in, but we have to understand that I don't have these inconceivable potencies, but God has it. That's the meaning to God. And then everything becomes clear. So the author of the Brahma Sutras accepts this fact and says, Shrutestu Shabdam Mulatavat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being inconceivable to an ordinary man, can be understood only through the evidence of the Vedic injunctions. The Skand Puran confirms, Achintyaha khalo ye bhava na tams tarkena yojayet. Matters inconceivable to a common man should not be a subject for argument. So there shouldn't even be an argument. Why? Because we don't have the inconceivable potency, but God has it. God has these inconceivable potencies. And that's the reason he's God. That's the reason he's not a common man. And I don't have these inconceivable potencies, and that's the reason I'm not God. So there is no room for argument. We find very wonderful qualities even in such material things as jewels and drugs. I'm sorry. Indeed, their qualities often appear inconceivable. Therefore, if we do not attribute the inconceivable potencies to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we cannot establish his supremacy. It is because of these inconceivable potencies that the glories of the Lord have always been accepted as difficult to understand. So here Prabhupada is saying that even jewels and drugs have these inconceivable potencies. The Chintamani jewel, for example. Or they are drugs also, how they magically cure us. So then they also have inconceivable potency. So why the Lord should not have inconceivable potency? Why shouldn't he have it? Why should God be like how I want him to be? I need to accept God as he is, not what I think he should be. If I think the absolute truth should be according to my belief, that means I don't want to understand the absolute truth. I want to just make up something and say that that is the truth. Then I'm not understanding the truth in fact. Ignorance and the jugglery of words are very common in human society, but they do not help one understand the inconceivable energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we accept such ignorance and word jugglery, we cannot accept the Supreme Lord's perfection in 6 opulences. For example, one of the opulences of the Supreme Lord is complete knowledge. Therefore, how could ignorance be conceivable in him? Krishna has 6 opulences unlimitedly. He has unlimited knowledge, complete knowledge. There's no one more knowledgeable than him. Wealth, beauty, strength, fame, and renunciation. Now, the Lord has these. So knowledge, the Lord has unlimited knowledge. Then how can one say the Lord becomes ignorant? How can one say that Lord, when he comes into this material world, he gets covered by Maya, because Maya is ignorance? So, just by using some words or trying to misinterpret, we cannot change the truth. We cannot change the truth. The truth is the truth. The Lord has unlimited knowledge. He can never become ignorant. So Vedic instructions and sensible arguments establish that the Lord's maintaining the cosmic manifestation and simultaneously being indifferent to the activities of its maintenance cannot be contrary because of his inconceivable energies. So he has these inconceivable energies, and so he can maintain the world and yet remain aloof from it. He does not have to personally see it. It's like a big CEO of a corporation, the clerks are doing the documentation, doing the sales, doing this. He's not personally involved in it, yet everything is working under his order. He might not even be in the office, the over there, but everything is happening in his order. So it is his. We can't say it's not his, but he's not doing everything. So we can understand, even if a common man has this potency, why the Supreme Lord cannot have it? Why he can't have if we have it? We have a tiny glimpse of this, but the Supreme Lord has this inconceivable energies unlimitedly. To a person who is always absorbed in thought of snakes, a rope always appears to be a snake, and similarly, to a person bewildered by material qualities and devoid of knowledge of the Absolute, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appears according to diverse bewildered conclusions. So if my knowledge is always about the material and I do not have any knowledge of the absolute truth, then I'm not able to understand, right? So the idea is that I understand, I don't have the knowledge of the absolute truth. Let me hear, let me submissively try to understand about the absolute truth and not make some ideas in my head about the absolute truth. That's the idea. That's the point. Any questions or comments? If no, then we'll stop here for today. Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol. Thank you so much for joining in and listening in. Hare Krishna.